Thanks for tuning in to Playbook Sports Horse Report on the Prime Sports Network. He's John Hardoon. He's Mark Lawrence. I'm Greg DePalma, and we're doing a whole lot of fun new stuff here on our horse coverage for the 2021 season. And we have a really big race to kick off. It's actually a Kentucky Derby prep race that we're going to get into. That's going to be our race of the week, the Holy Bull Stakes. So that's coming up. We have two races, both from Gulfstream Park, which will be races 10 and 11. Before I do that, I want to welcome John Hardoon back. Haven't seen you since 2020, John.
Oh yeah, I think when was it? I guess the Derby, right? The Derby Trail. Oh, another Breeders' Cup we did.
Breeders' Cup, yes, that's the
Right.
last time. So I know you don't really have a whole lot. I mean, I know Mark, I know you, John, but John, you've had an opportunity to get to know Mark over the last couple of weeks as we're prepping for this show, and I'm really looking forward to you guys working together and marketing all of what you can do as you've done for many years, John, and that is to provide expert analysis and picks to the general public. Mark, of course, is the owner of PlaybookSports.com. And Mark, for the audience, which is new for you, tell us a little bit about PlaybookSports.com and why you wanted to do the show.
Well, first of all, Greg, nice to be on board with you. And John, I really look forward to this. I'm a big horse racing fan, as you know. I generally attend Gulfstream every Saturday. In fact, we had a nice suite, a nice box up there for a long while, and really look forward to the races each and every week. And picking John's head will only benefit my visiting Gulfstream moving forward here. So a little bit of a selfish reason, but I do love horse racing. I've loved it since I've been a kid. As far as Playbook Sports is concerned, we've been publishing Playbook Football Preview Guide magazine now going on 30 years. We've had a weekly football newsletter going on 35 years. And I've been a professional sports handicapper, as you know, for going on 40 years. So we're talking a lot of history in the past, and people that know me know that I love my history. I'm a very technical oriented handicapper, sports handicapper, and I'm really curious about the sheets that John produces and exactly what the formula and the recipe is and understanding the sheets. So that's why I'm really looking forward to our visits each week with John.
And Mark, you're actually going to get an opportunity to look at the sheets for the first time on the show. And this is going to be kind of fun because it's going to go back to the days, John. I think it's been about, what, 4 years maybe we've been doing this? When I
At least,
started to learn how to use the
more.
sheets.
Yeah. It takes some time to get the hang of it, but Mark is a sharp guy, and I'm sure he'll catch on pretty quick. But again, it's all a matter of
Yes.
experience and looking at races. And what I tell all new players is to keep the sheets and then go review after the race is over and see if you can figure out why what happened. And it's a good learning tool. What's really good about the sheets for new players and beginners is being able to throw out bad favorites. And the name of the game, no matter whether you're betting sports or horses, you always try to find value and try to get somewhat of an edge. So by using sheets, if it helps you eliminate bad favorites, well, that's a big part of the game because you're not going to make money betting 4 to 5 shots. You have to find value, and that's what sheets are best used for, I would say, especially for beginners.
Yeah, we're not. That's definitely what we avoid here on this show. The 4 to 5 winners, any monkey could pick a 4 to 5 winner. So we try to avoid that. And sometimes, look, we might think that those horses are going to end up winning the race, but sometimes we have to take a risk on another horse and another wager because who wants to win, 10 cents on the dollar? Not me.
Or listen, there are times when there are standouts, and in those situations, you either try to make a short price horse into and get some value out of it by saying using a short price horse in
Yep.
exactas with a longer price underneath, where you're turning a 3 to 5 shot into say an 8 to 1 shot.
Okay.
So there are times when the favorites look clearly the best, and you got to take it or you don't bet the race, whatever the case may be.
Okay, now John is going to have some specials available on this show as well as PlaybookSports.com. So whenever you hear, basically, it's going to be Playbook Sports is going to be the code, and these guys are going to work that out. So those specials are going to be available at playbooksports.com. So just check that out. Go to the website, and Mark will guide you to where you need to go in order to get those specials. And you can also find links to our shows at playbooksports.com. And don't forget, Mark and I are going to preview the Super Bowl next week on our OFN NFL. Actually, it's the last of our OFN NFL preview shows for the season. That's going to be next Friday, which will, I guess we're going to do double duty next Friday, Mark, unless we make it on another day for the NFL.
We'll look forward to that. Doubleheader next week. I'm really looking forward to that. Let me jump in real quick here, Greg, before we move forward. What John said, I can relate to down deep inside everything he's saying here. First of all, handicapping doesn't matter what sport it is, whether it's horse racing, football, basketball. It's all about value. And like John mentioned, you can't be wagering on 3 to 5 favorites and expect to make profits in the long run. I've had long arguments with people about, favorites for value, and their argument is, you tear up a losing ticket, what value was there in tearing up a losing ticket? Well, it's all about return on investment, okay? Especially in horse racing. And you have to avoid those 3 to 5 or anything odds-on favorites in horse racing. I do the same thing with football. Anybody can pick the straight-up winner of a football game where there's a favorite of minus 14 or more points most of the time. And it's all about what sort of return we're going to get on our investment. So, and the other thing John said that I can really dig into is going back and looking at those sheets after a race has been completed and looking to see what it was you missed if you didn't have the winner off the sheets in that race. I do the same thing with handicapping football to see exactly what it was I missed handicapping that football game, and it only adds to the arsenal.
All right, let's go ahead and get started now. The first race on our 2-race Gulfstream Park card today is going to be the Grade 3 Swedish Chant. The Swedish Chant debuted in 1986 on dirt. The mare Swedish Chant won 12 races in her career, including the Grade 2 Orchid Stakes. A few minutes after that, we're going to go with our race of the week. That's the Grade 3 Holy Bull Stakes. Matter of fact, you see here on the screen right now, I am showing, these guys can't see it. They'll see it after the show on the replay, but I'm showing right now Holy Bull actually winning the Florida Derby back in 1994. Want to thank Horse Racing on YouTube for this clip. So it's an old ABC clip of Holy Bull winning the Florida Derby in 94. All right, so again, the Holy Bull Stakes, it's a Kentucky Derby prep race with 10 qualifying points awarded to the winner as 3-year-olds looking to accumulate enough points to qualify and earn a spot in the Kentucky Derby. This race, the Holy Bull, actually debuted in 1990 as... Do you know the name of that race, John?
No.
All right. It was the Preview Stakes. It was renamed the Holy Bull in 96 to honor the 94 Horse of the Year in Florida Derby winner, Holy Bull. Okay, here's another trivia question for you, John. What prestigious race...
Mark's the trivia expert, so send the questions.
Come on, you know this. What prestigious race did the Holy Bull replace after Hialeah Park closed?
I have no clue.
Come on, this is an easy one. Hialeah Park, big race.
Oh, okay.
Think. Flamingo Stakes.
The what stakes?
Flamingo.
Oh, okay. You're right. They're famous for the flamingos.
Yep. Spectacular Bid, Seattle Slew, and Citation, all winners of the Flamingo Stakes. Now the Holy Bull Stakes. And before we get into the Holy Bull, and I'm going to throw some more trivia in there, let's go ahead and jump first on this 10th race, the Swedish Chant. It's a 1-mile turf race, and this is definitely a tough race for me to handicap, John, because whenever we do shows, usually we're doing top, not only stakes races, but horses with a lot of experience, horses that will have pretty decent sheet lines. And it's kind of hard for me to dive into this one. So the best thing that I can do is take a look at like the 4, who's about a 5-2 favorite. So, and what I'm going to do is use that as a double with the Holy Bull. Con Lima seems to make a lot of sense as a favorite. This is one of the Pletcher horses in this race, and he's 2 for 2 at Gulfstream, and is coming off a 16. Matter of fact, been at Gulfstream 5 out of 6 career races, 6 out of 6 in the money, either first or second. So I think I'd be pretty lucky, to tell you the truth, if I could get 5-2 on Conlima tomorrow. But tell me a little bit about how you handicap a race like this.
Well, these are tough races to handicap. To be honest with you, when they're lightly raced horses, a horse could run, first time out and not run well. They could give a horse a race, first time out. They may not be trying. They may not have the horse squeezed. Horses generally improve with racing. If you look at the one horse, for example, Queen of the Green, 3 races on the turf, and each race is better than the previous one. To me, the edge in the race was playing against the 4-horse Conlima at a short price. Even the second choice in the race is the 2, Honey Pants. Honey Pants' first 2 races last year on the grass were both very good. However, her distance race this year, and this race is being run at a mile, was not very good.
No, at this racetrack, by the way.
Right, at this racetrack. I have a different way of going. I like a horse in this race, actually, and it's the number 5 horse, White Frost. The reason I like White Frost is because White Frost's one and only try on the grass last year was a victory. It was also better than Conlima ran. When you run early as a 2-year-old and you come out as a 3-year-old, you're generally going to improve. It's like, people get better when they get older. The horse had experience and ran well as a 2-year-old. That horse is 9-2. And I think the 5 is the right way to go. Your horse certainly has a chance, but at 9-2, I think my selection, value-wise, is a stronger play than the 4-horse. The 4-horse, the horse you like, Conlima, ran the 16 last time out. My horse ran the 16 as a baby.
Sure.
So the potential for her to run much better is there. Where your horse already ran the number, my horse ran the same number as a 2-year-old. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Makes
that's why.
Sense.
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
why,
also getting, again, the odds are
right. My horse is 9-2. Your horse is 5-2. Your horse is trained by Pletcher, so Pletcher horses get overplayed, generally speaking. There, you could even make a case for the bottom horse who ran a 17 early as a 2-year-old at Gulfstream. Came out last time and she ran the 17 with trouble. So she has a license to improve, and she's 6-1. That's why I thought, that's why I thought the edge in the race was playing against the favorites. The 4 and the 2. The 2 is fine. The 2 ran a 10 as a 2-year-old, so she's eligible to run anything. The only knock I have on the 2 is that her race as a 3-year-old going a distance was not good. It was an 18. So that's why I thought the 4 was certainly beatable, either by the 2, 5, or 8. And again, I'm leaning towards the 5 because the 5 ran it early, and she's the longest price out of my main contenders in the race, and that's why I ended up on the 5, White Frost.
All right. Also keep in mind Chad Brown, who is training Domain Expertise, the 5-1 shot. Chad Brown is the all-time winner in training victories at this race. He's got 6 wins.
Well, he's not getting the 7. He's not getting the 7 tomorrow. That's for sure.
I mean, Chance Stakes. He actually won 6 in a row between 2012 and 2017. Why? So what don't you like about the 6?
She's slow. I mean, she's running there. The 5 is White Frost is clearly faster. I mean, it's not like Chad Brown's horse has 1 race. Chad Brown's horse has 3 races, and she's running 19 or 20.
You mean 3 on the turf compared to 1 on the turf for the 5.
Right, and all 3 of the races are slower than the 5 ran. Not only that, White Frost again ran the number early, so that's a big edge.
All right.
Hey, Greg, let me say this about John's observation here, of which I can understand completely where he's going, and I'm a little bit like him. I like to look for horses that were dirt horses that moved to the turf, and I had a big race on the turf, much like White Frost did. But in the 6 horse, correct me if I'm wrong, with it being Chad Brown, And as popular as he is in turf races, that horse will pull down a lot of money. And lead more value to the 5-horse. Would that thinking be right, John?
100% on the nose. Perfect observation. That's the problem with the Pletcher horse also that Greg likes. Sure, she could win. 100% she could win. But Pletcher, automatically you're getting 2 points less than you should be getting, because of Pletcher. The same thing goes for Brown. Because of Brown, you're not getting the best of it. There's no edge in playing those guys with short-priced horses because they're only going to be a lot shorter than you expect them to be.
What did you think about the one? Because the 15-1 on a horse that over his last 2 races gone from an 18 to a 15, coming off a win at a mile last time out.
She's fine at the price. The problem I have with that horse is the Tampa Bay shippers. Her last race was run at Tampa Bay. Those horses generally don't run well when they ship to Gulfstream.
But is there any particular reason for that?
That's because it's like a minor league racetrack compared to a major league racetrack. Take nothing away from Tampa because you can make money there. But Tampa horses run better against Tampa horses. Gulfstream, it's like stepping up to the majors.
Sure. Okay. Got it. John, so you're just going to go with the 5 straight up?
I like the 5. I like the 5 and 8, but I give the edge to the 5.
All right, so 5 and 8 exacta though is something that you would consider.
Yeah.
The 8 6-1. That's not that wouldn't be a bad exacta. Okay, so and again, don't forget you get the double in this race, which is what I'm doing. I'm going to do the 4 with, and I'll get into that in just a minute or two. But first, as I mentioned, what I want to do is take a look more at some history of the Holy Bull as I play this replay in the mud back in 2006 of Barbaro winning the Holy Bull. And so thanks to Capital OTB for the footage in this one. And Barbaro, of course, a classic horse who not only won this race, the Holy Bull, he went on to win the Florida Derby and the Kentucky Derby before the serious injury at the Preakness ultimately wound up ending not only his career, John, but his life. That was a really tough one because Barbaro was catching on. It was a great story in 2006.
Yeah, it certainly was. That horse became a fan favorite, and unfortunately, she broke down in that race. He broke down in that race, and that was the end of him.
Yep. Last video is going to be of last year's winner, Tiz the Law. So you see here, Tiz the Law winning last year's Holy Bull. And Tiz the Law actually made his 3-year-old debut in this race. He was the heavy favorite. He went on to win the Florida Derby, the Belmont Stakes, and the Travers Stakes. So it was a tremendous season for Tiz the Law last year. He lost, though, the Kentucky Derby as the heavy favorite to the eventual 2020 Horse of the Year, Authentic. So Tiz the Law was definitely a strong horse, but kind of a disappointing end to his year in general. He had a strong year, but lost out to Authentic. John, do you think that was which horse did you like better last year?
Last year I liked Tiz the Law better, but listen, Authentic did what he had to do, and he beat him on the square, and that was that. So. But last year was a screwy year because they ran the Kentucky Derby in September when it was
That's
supposed
right, yeah.
to start in May, and
yeah.
Charlton probably would have been the favorite if they ran in May. But then Charlton got hurt, and he came back and became a terrific horse. So last year doesn't count. Just
okay. But I agree. We have to. It's an asterisk. All right, let's go to the Holy Bull now. A mile and a 16th, Grade 3 Holy Bull Stakes. And let me ask you this question: does it matter at all that the 2 is the only gelding in the race versus Colts? What does that mean? Explain to anybody what that means, if anything.
That means absolutely nothing. A horse is gelded for a lot of reasons. It means that they castrate him. Either he's too wound up and he's too crazy, or he's growing too fast, or he's his own worst enemy. So castrating him calms him down. The only difference it would make is if it was girls against boys, but colts and geldings are the same.
Okay. All right, now as far as this, look to me, once again, I think this is the two of the top horses, the both Pletcher horses. A Mount is a 6-1 shot. Obviously, the odds are better. I like that. Ran a 15, only one race behind a Mount, with Ortiz behind him. And then the 6 is the other Fletcher horse, one of the favorites. Prime Factor ran a 14 in his first race out at 6 furlongs. Ortiz was on that horse as well. That was Arad Ortiz. So those definitely. Saez, by the way, is going to be on a Mount. The 6-1 shot. The 4. Greatest Honor. The 7 is a 5-2 shot. Ran a 7 his last race. So we'll talk a little bit about whether or not John thinks that Greatest Honor could bounce in this one. The 8, the 5-1 shot sitting on Go. Has raced in some big races, including the Grade 1 Juvenile, and didn't perform very well in that race. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to probably just go with the double 4-4-4-6. I'm going to go a Pletcher double and hope that the 4, the 6-1 shot amount comes in and wins it for me. John, tell me what you think about this race and talk about that 7 from Greatest Honor.
The first thing I'm doing is taking your sheets away from you because.
Well, this is we don't normally do these types of races. I like to have a better sheet profile.
Well, but you picked these races out, so we could only blame you.
Well, there are no races out there at all right at this time of year that are any good.
Can the 4 or 6 win? Absolutely. Are you supposed to bet them? Absolutely not. For the simple reason, take a horse like Papatu, the 3 horse.
Ran a 10 his last race.
He's 15-1. Yeah. I mean, chances are he's bouncing, but he ran a 10 last time out, which is 5 points faster than a Mount, 4 points faster than Prime Factor. He's 4 times or 3 times the price of those horses. Makes no sense to want to bet those horses against a horse like Papatu. Okay, Papatu had a 15 early as a 2-year-old, and it's exactly what we were talking about with the race before with White Frost. This horse had a right to run a 10 last time out due to the fact that he ran the 15 early last year. Not that I like Papatu, because I probably would play Papatu to bounce, to be honest with you. I think Greatest Honor is going to be very tough. He's 5-2, and we were talking about sometimes you got to take what they give you. Well, that certainly may be the case here. What makes Greatest Honor very strong is the fact that he had an 11 in career start number 2. So the 7 isn't out of nowhere. Yeah. The 7, is a number that's in line. Not only is Greatest Honor going to be tough, but the bottom horse, Awesome Jerry. This horse, has never done anything wrong. He has a 12 last time out at Gulfstream. So all these horses, he's 8-1. Greatest Honor, I understand, will probably be the favorite or close to it. But those horses, and even Papatu, those 3 horses are all faster than the 4 amount and the 6 Prime Factor. Again, horses that run once and then run a second time, the first number means nothing. But why do I want to play them at a short price? No value in playing the 4 or the 6, to be honest with you. And you have the Pletcher factor, so he's going to take money with both those horses for that simple reason. I think the 7's going to be tough, and the way I'm going to play the race to get any value is put Greatest Honor over Papatu and over the 9, Awesome Jerry. 7 with 3-9 is the way that I would go, and if there's room, I would even open up with a small exacta box, hoping maybe the 7 bounces off of that big race. But to me, that's the way to play the race.
Talk about the bounce factor. So anybody that's new to listening to our shows, talk a little bit about the time frame of
the bounce factor. Is when a horse runs the best race of his life, or close to the best race of his life, and comes back without much time between races, they're going to react and not put in their best effort because of the race that they just ran. It's kind of like teams in sports. Mark would know this. When a team is either off of a huge win or something, there's usually a letdown in their next game. Not
Yeah,
always.
but what's the
Sometimes
time frame though? Because
you want 5 or 6 weeks off of a top. If you look at Greatest Honors raced 3 starts back when he ran the 11. He then bounced to the 13 because he didn't have that much time off the 11. So at that point in his life, the 11 was a top. Now he's got more time off. He has off since December 26th, so it's more than a month. It's about 5 weeks. You'd like another week, but you didn't get it. But that's not the case. He's just really fast. He's twice as fast as a Mount. He's twice as fast as Prime Factor. You know, that's why I think he's strong here. And I was telling you before, sometimes you have to take what they give you, and sometimes you have to turn a short price horse into a 10-to-1 shot. I guarantee you a 7-3 or 7-9 exactor is going to be you'll get at least 15-to-1 on your money.
Mark?
Hey, John, what price would you limit Greatest Honor at that you would not bet this horse?
I'm using all 3 of the horses I mentioned to you, but it's going to be weighted. They'll have like a $50, let's say, double to the 7 Greatest Honor, where I'll have two $20 doubles to the 3 and 9. If the 7 is 8-5 or less, I'm really not interested in the horse, but I don't think he'll be 8-5 because I think they're going to have options here. They're going to definitely go for the Pletcher horses, no question about it. Our co-host or our head host, whatever you want to call him, he went for the favorite. So Joe is definitely going to go.
Yeah, it's going to take me a while. I was taking a look at the scheduling, and it's going to probably be another month, maybe. Look, we actually would have done the Santa Anita races, but they're canceled, right?
Yeah, well, they're running tomorrow, but the fields are 5 horses.
Okay, so the fields are going to be bad. The
Right.
New York race, that's canceled, or that's also going to be bad with the rain?
It's iffy. They may run, they may not. If it remains 1 degree, I don't think they're going to run. But it's supposed to warm up to like 5 or 6, so they may run.
Because we actually don't do a lot of Gulfstream.
But this is a time of year though that we should be doing Gulfstream.
Absolutely.
The winter. Yes.
For the most part, good weather, and you're guaranteed, good field size.
Yes,
so.
and taking a look quickly at some of these other horses in case anybody else is interested. The 5-to-1 shot sitting on Go over his last 3 races has gone the exact wrong way. 12, 14, 18, running a 9th and a 6th. Why would you want to take this horse at 5-to-1?
Well, you probably wouldn't, and not only that, but the barn is not doing well at all. The barn is 1 for 28 at the meet, and Dale Romans is a good trainer. But you're right, the horse is going in the wrong direction. The idea is to bet horses going in the right direction, not horses that are tailing off.
And Tarrant,
John, let me ask you this real quick, John, if I may, about that 8 horse. He comes in here with, it looks to be a lot of pedigree as far as the races that he's been in, graded stakes races, as opposed to others in this race that aren't in as many as he's been in. Does that factor into the handicap at all?
No, I don't believe that. I don't put that much into a class. There are people that are class handicappers, but I never met a horse that read a form yet, so I don't think they know who they're running against.
I love it.
Part, I like to decide where they belong, as opposed to other people. You'll get a horse that ran for 100,000 and now he's running for 10,000. Well, people will say, look, he ran against $100,000 in a $100,000 race. Now he's running again, but that doesn't mean anything. To me, that's a negative. If he was competing with $100,000 horses and now they're willing to run him for 10,
there's a reason, right?
That's a red flag for me.
All right, and Tarantino, that horse is coming off a 16 in his 3rd race. This is the best race of his career, and he won that race 1 mile at Gulfstream. So 8-1 Tarantino. Why did you decide to skip that horse?
because Tarantino's 3 races are all on the grass. Now he's running on the dirt. How do I know what he's going to do on the dirt? How does anyone know what he's going to do on the dirt? If they thought he was a dirt horse, they wouldn't have run him 3 races on the grass.
Yeah, he's definitely capable,
of
but
course,
like you said, you've got a couple of other options. He's somebody, he's not a throwaway because he could actually race well. You don't know. It's a mystery.
Yeah, but he's 8 to 1.
Yeah.
He's an unknown for me. The breeding doesn't necessarily indicate turf, which, if he was long and I was king someone long, sure, I would throw him in. But I have other options. I have Papatu at 15 to 1 that's already run the 10 on the dirt. I have Awesome Jerry, who's 8 to 1 that ran the 12 on the dirt. Why am I going to bet a horse that was 16s that has never run on the dirt? And those are turf races at a shorter price.
And the gelding horse, the 10-to-1 shot, has got 2 races under his belt. It went from a 17 to a 14. We'll be stretching out to 1 mile for a mile and a 16th, actually, for the first time.
Right. Now, remember, there's a big difference between a mile and a 16th. A mile is still around, at Gulfstream, is around 1 turn, where a mile and a 16th is around 2 turns. There's a big difference between running around 2 turns and 1 turn.
All right. Mark, any other questions before we wrap it up?
Well, a good point John brings up, Gulfstream, with that short start to begin with, and greatest honor is that horse that has run back-to-back mile and a 16th races. I can completely understand where John's going to with this race. He's the horse that I like as well, but my biggest concern was what do we do if he ends up being the favorite, and what kind of chalk would he be where we would not bet the race?
He's probably going to be the favorite because of his credentials. Like you said, he's won around 2 turns, which is a big edge. Again, the cutoff price to me is probably about 8 to 5, and you got to hope really that Greg's horses take some money because they're short prices. They've never been 2 turns. They're bred to run long. One's out of curl and one's out of tappet. Those horses could run forever, but they haven't done it yet. I have a belief. Why bet on someone that hasn't done anything yet at a short price? There's no edge in doing that. If those horses are long, yeah, of course you could use them. But at short prices, you're betting a horse doing something he's never done before at a short price. That's a recipe for a disaster.
We do the same thing in football handicapping, John. Just a quick little short note here that when we find teams that win games as underdogs, pull upsets like 3 consecutive games in a row, and then are installed as favorites, then they're asking to do something that they're not capable of doing. So I understand completely what you're saying.
Not only that, you're losing the value because you were getting points with them in the previous weeks, and now you're laying points. There's no way in doing that.
Exactly.
All right.
You missed the thing. Why go to the funeral?
All right, Mark. So one more time, playbooksports.com. Basketball season is underway. Tell us a little bit about anybody out there that wants to pick up your weekly newsletters and your daily emails.
As you mentioned, Greg, is available online at playbooksports.com. So too, right now, as we speak, is our Super Bowl report, loaded and filled with stats and facts and information. And you can also stay in touch with me daily with the Coffee Club. It's a coffee club I'll put in your email, the first thing you'll read each morning about the sports card each day. Check it out all online at playbooksports.com.
And John, jhardoon.com. That's the website, correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. You have any specials going on right now? Or actually, don't forget the Playbook Sports special. You guys have got to come up with a really good special for our listeners.
We'll work something out. Just go to the website and visit it and see if you're interested. We have 4 tracks a day. I do Gulfstream, Aqueduct, Santa Anita, and Oaklawn at this time of the year. I have best plays. I have full cards. Check it out. And if you're interested, you can drop me an email or whatever. All the information's there.
And I believe next week the top race is the Withers. I think that's the top race of next week. So
at Aqueduct, is it? Is that at Aqueduct?
I believe so. So that's something that hopefully we'll do next week. I believe we have Gulfstream, Santa Anita, and Aqueduct again next week. Hopefully we'll have better luck next week with variety than we had this week. Once again, John's going to go with the 5 in race number 10. And he also says keep an eye on 5-8 Exacta. And then in the 11th race, which is the race of the week, the Holy Bowl, John's going 7 with the 3 and the 9.
Correct.
John, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank
Mark,
you. Thanks,
it's
Mark.
good to have you on,
Thank
Mark.
you, Mark.
You guys be good luck this weekend. May the horse be with you. Thank you.
Be well, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Later, guys.